Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
It all comes down to this. The force of the Ardennes surrounds Spa-Francorchamps as the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge reaches its Season 14 finale, 90 minutes on one of the most demanding circuits in the world to decide it all. I'm Greg Ginsberg, along with Larry Lefty McLeod in the commentary box, and of course Jonathan Grabowski behind the scenes, making sure all the viewers here on Apex Racing TV have the best seat in the house. So 2 weeks ago at the Nürburgring, the title fights tightened across the board. In GT3 AM, a late season charge saw the margin cut to just 11 points heading into today. In GT3 Pro, last season's champion Ethan Bass struck back with a crucial win, closing to within 7 points of championship leader Leo Dragota, who finished third. And inside the Orion camp, teammates Mike Dam and Brian Coxon are separated by just 3 lonely points in the battle for third. And in LMP2, Alex Crow earned his first win of the season, moving to within 4 points of leader Kevin McPherson, while Caleb Lehman's second place finish pulled him to within 9 points, a 3-way showdown as we come into the finale. And finally in GTP, Connor Nixon's Nürburgring victory tightened the fight even further. Just 6 points now separate SRT teammates Michelle Squarick and Stephen Hudek. Spa will decide it. Eau Rouge, Radion, and the long run to Lake Como await. One race, one chance. The season finale starts right now, Larry.
I am super psyched about it, Greg. This is great. As you mentioned, every race has tightened up. There's pressure on those that had good starts of seasons now have the pressure on to finish it out. The challenges are coming to really make this thing one a super eventful and memorable 90-minute finale here. We're 90 minutes here at Spa.
90.
I am psyched. We got a big field tonight. Every class matters. Every battle matters. But I tell you what, the tires are still going to be cold on lap 1.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And so, Larry, first off, I want to welcome everybody who's joining us here on YouTube. We've already got a ton of people in the chat, and we are now in the midst of qualifying as we're watching Ethan Bass, currently your provisional pole sitter in GT3 Pro in his Ford Mustang. And of course, Ethan, like all of our GT3 Pro racers, you'll be able to pick them out. They've got those red windshield banners and number boards, mirrors on the wings as well. And at the moment, he's got, Larry, just a minuscule 5/1000ths of a second, or 500ths of a second, pardon me, advantage over Leo Dragota here in qualifying. Over in GT3 AM, it's Chester Guidry, currently your provisional pole sitter, driving with the number 1 on the door. He is in his BMW M3 GT3, and like all of our AM drivers, he's got the green number boards and windshield banners, etc. There as he makes his way around. He has just an what, about a 400th, about a 400th of a second advantage over Andre Wedderburn at the moment. Pardon me, 4/10ths of a second of an advantage. Let's move over and take a look at LMP2, where I think, there we go, we're checking in with Alex Crow in the number 990 Dallara. Currently your provisional pole sitter. All of our LMP2 racers in those Dallaras, they've got the blue windshield banners and number boards on the cars. Bobby Boboletsko's currently a half second back here in qualifying as they are working their 4th and 3rd laps respectively. And then over in GTP, our provisional pole sitter just headed to the pit lane. So we're going to take a look, we were taking a look there at Connor Nixon, who just wrapped up, looks like he called off his final flying lap. So we'll move over to Michelle Square, currently your championship leader in GTP in her SRT Esports Acura, currently 4th fastest. She's working her final flying lap, Larry, as she comes through turn 18, is going to make the run down to the final chicane. And here in just a moment, let's see, she should be actually coming through 18 now and into the chicane. And let's see if she can improve. She's looking to find what, almost 7/10ths of a second to go on pole as she comes across the line. Can she get off the second row, Larry? And she does not improve. She's going to start this race in 4th. But let's see. Let's take a look here as we go over now back to Alex Crow, who is, again, your provisional pole sitter in LMP2, and he is on a flyer right now, Larry, as he comes out of the final chicane onto the front straight and across the line, turning in a 2:06.63. That is almost 8/10ths of a second up on Bobby Boboletskos and the rest of the LMP2 field, as we now watch Caleb Lehman come across the line and complete lap number 3. And it looks like he's going to call things off after lap 3, Larry. He's going to finish 5th fastest here in the class.
Yeah, it's a big qualifying stuff going on here for sure. Everyone wants to be in the front row if they can get there. There just aren't enough spots for it. But let's see what Dragota can do now as he comes through to that final line. Can he get down into those low 15s?
And Leo Dragota, he leapfrogs Ethan Bass, moves to 2nd fastest, Larry, in the field. And interestingly enough, that's not enough to put him on pole. His teammate, Brian Coxon, currently running 4th in the championship and just, I believe, 3 points back from teammate Mike Dam, currently your provisional pole sitter, as we only have, I believe, in GT3 Pro, Charlie Hosea and Jeff Jacobs remaining. And actually, Hosea just completed his final lap. He's going to finish 8th fastest. Jeff Jacobs, our sole remaining pro driver, out on track as we jump over. Well, I take that back. Not the final driver on track in pro, as we go over to Mike Dam, who is working his final flying lap now. And Dam with a 2:16.13 on the clock, looking to knock off almost 8/10 to get down the provisional pole time, a 2:15.30 set by teammate Brian Coxon.
Tough time to chase here, but those Orion guys, they're all fast, aren't they?
Indeed. You know, I talked to Mike Dam last week during Mini Mike Sports Car Challenge about chasing somebody younger on the team like Leo Dragota, and what a challenge it's been. Dam, as he comes across the line, he does turn in his best time, finds a couple hundredths, Larry, turns in a 2:16 flat, a 2:16.09. That, though, is only enough to move him to 9th fastest in pro.
That is not going to get it done. Not at a night like this. He's got to hope for tragedy to strike those in front of him, but if it does, often that means the entire field gets balled up, which is going to be interesting. You and I have called a bunch of these races here at this track, and there often seems to be some interesting starts, those opening laps. Certainly the field going through Lacombe on the first try, or the first time that the prototypes come to the field of GT3s, will make it interesting, and I don't think tonight's going to be any exception to that.
Indeed. So, Larry, we were supposed to have Connor Nixon from Orbit Drop Bear Motorsports join us here pre-race, and he was still out on track qualifying, and fortunately did not have the time to join us. Maybe we'll get to speak to him post-race here, depending on how things finish up. Here again, it will be 90 minutes from Spa as our racers complete speed lab qualifying. And we watch right now on track. This is Stephen May, currently sitting 8th fastest in GT3 AM and his Mayforce Racing BMW, the number 53 machine, as he comes through the final chicane and onto the front straight. And Larry, he calls off the lap before he gets to the finish line. Maybe had an off track somewhere. And he's going to start in 8th in AM, and that is going to be somewhere along the lines of 20th in the GT3 field.
I will say the drivers were warned before tonight that in order to run for 90 minutes, you've got to make it past 90 seconds. I think that was the quote they actually used. So we'll see how much caution these drivers have when they do actually take the green here tonight.
All right, so Larry, let's take a look at our Speed Lab qualifying results, which set the grid for tonight's race. We'll start off with GTP, where Stephen Hudek in the number 44 SRT eSport Porsche is your pole sitter. Connor Nixon in the Drop Bear Motorsport Porsche 963 will start on the outside of row number 1. Then we've got Carlos Barrero from Speed Lab Esports. He will start 3rd in his BMW M-Power machine. Michelle Squarick, our championship leader, coming into the final round in the number 75 SRT eSport Acura, will start 4th. Starting 5th tonight. He had a real good run last week, or probably 2 weeks ago at the Nürburgring, did Fernando Takahashi from Rosso Esports. The BMW driver will start 5th, with Ben Rose driving the number 5 DNA Motorsports Acura starting in 6th. And your final row in GTP, driving the number 17 D2D Sim Sports Cadillac, it's Bobby Childs with Aaron Beaver, also in a Cadillac, driving the number 97 D2D Sim Racing. Those two teammates will make up row number 4. Moving over to LMP2 and our Dallara chassis, starting on pole tonight. Driving the Majors Esport 990 machine, it's Alex Crow, with his teammate Bobby Babaletsko starting on the outside of row number 1. Starting 3rd tonight in the DNA Motorsports Dallara, it is Jordan Butler. He'll start alongside SRT Esports Kevin McPherson. Then as we move over to row number 3. It is Jordan, pardon me, it is Jake Vasconcelos, and he'll start alongside Caleb Lehman. And over to you for the GT
All
cars.
right. Big GT3 field tonight, and a lot of the pros, a lot of them want to win this thing in the finale. We'll start on the front row. All Orion, it is Brian Coxon on the pole tonight, just ahead of his teammate Leo Dragota. Row 2 on the inside, it's going to be Ethan Bass, that Orbit Drop Bear Motorsports Mustang, lined up alongside another of our, actually the fastest of our Dragon Sport race. That'd be Lucas Dragota. So all Dragota right side of the front two rows. That'll be interesting. Row 3, we got the quickest of our Rockefeller Racing, Ilya Speaker. He'll be lined up alongside another Orion driver, Travis Schwenke. Short pace lap here. Filippo Barberi, Speed Lab Esports, will be inside of row 4 with Charlie Jose on the outside on the Rockefeller Racing. And then you got Mike Dam there on row 5 alongside the fastest of the AM drivers, Chester Guidry and HTPK Racing. Behind them, Keith Stein, Rockefeller Racing, alongside Andre Wedderburn from Speed Lab Esport. And you've got Neil Weston, another HTPK driver, alongside Jeff Jacobs from the SCCA Foundation. Behind them, Aaron Sunday from OHND Racing, alongside Michael Moseman from Speed Lab Esport. Adam Cohen from Speed Lab Esport will line up alongside Pan Hiraday from Lead Paw Racing, Stephen May from Mayforce, John Casey from Frito Sports, and then finally Greg Brockway from Frito Sport Racing.
All right, thank you so much, Larry. That is your Speed Lab starting grid. As the pace car now heads to the pit lane, turning things over to Stephen Hudek and Connor Nixon as the starter looks over the field, and green flag is in the air. Great jump for our pole sitter Hudek, who jumps and comes all the way across the field as they go into the hairpin at La Source and start to make the run down the hill towards Eau Rouge. Dropping in the second place, it is Connor Nixon. Michelle Square gets around Carlos Barrero, who now moves up into third position. Ben Rose making up a position, getting around Takahashi as well, as our LMP2 racers now take the green flag and they make their way around La Source as well. And jumping out to an early lead, a big lead there, almost half second already, is Alex Crow over Bobby Babaletskos as our GT3 racers now taking the green. Brian Coxon to the inside, his teammate Leo Dragota, championship leader, to the outside, and he sweeps around the outside. Great run for the Mercedes driver as he's got position now on Coxon as they come down the hill. Coxon slides in behind his teammate, and he has Lucas Dragota sliding in right behind in the Dragon Sport Mercedes. Ethan Bass, our pro leader, probably running second in pro, now sliding into fourth position.
Here comes Lucas. Lucas wants to follow Leo into Lacombe. He's got his Mercedes just up on the inside. Maybe even take a look at the lead. Not quite, but he is going to try and hold Coxon behind him. I think he's able to. So it's a Dragota 1-2 now here in GT3 Pro.
And that was a great move by Lucas Dragota at the chicane at Lacombe. Brian Coxon, I think, also looking to hold that advantage that he has over teammate Mike Dam right now in the championship. Very cautious, and don't want to say he let the Mercedes by, but certainly didn't want to get caught up in any big wreck there on lap number 1 as we jump back over to our GTP racers. Larry, as they now come into the chicane. And look at this, Connor Nixon comes onto the pit lane, Larry, on the very last lap, and I'm wondering if perhaps he jumped the start. Let's see if he just comes down the pit lane.
That's what we're seeing. Actually, it's a black flag issued to him already, and it looks like a start violation, possibly lanes, as you say. So that's going to hurt. But what that does do is that helps Michelle Squirk. She's able to move up in front of him, except for I think Carlos Barrero may have jumped in between them again. So Michelle looking for that opportunity now, thinking perhaps having Nixon out of the way was going to be a good thing. Barrero takes advantage of it. So now it's Hudak and Barrero as we take a look at our LMP2s.
Yeah, and as we came into the evening here, Michelle Squirk, 364 points in the championship. Stephen Hudek, currently our leader. Her SRT Esport teammate only 6 points back. And so Square, of course, wanting to dispatch with Barrero as quickly as possible. But look at this, Larry. The battle for second, Kevin McPherson and Bobby Babaletskos as they go into the chicane. Great move by McPherson. They are getting around Babaletskos as they come into Lacombe.
McPherson desperately needed this good start if he's going to keep up with Alex Crow. Those are your two championship contenders at the top of the standings in LMP2. So very important for Kevin to have picked up those spots ahead of Butler and, of course, Babaletskos here at the start. Now McPherson can start seeing if he can toe in the Canadian Alex Crow, who's now already got himself a couple of second leads. So a lot of work to be done, but 90 minutes to do it. That might help McPherson tonight.
And Larry, we've got Josh Plays in the chat, who's already doing the math for us. Thank God, because we know I can't do it. In GTP, says that Michelle Squirk would have to finish third with Stephen Hudek taking the win in GTP.
I'm so glad somebody did the hard work for us.
Exactly,
so
for Hudek to
Josh.
take the championship. Yeah, thank you so much, Josh.
Meanwhile, this is the battle where you've got your AM leader, Chester Guidry, in the middle in there, but alongside him on the inside, that's Mike Dam. Of course, he's in the pro category. He would like to get past his fellow BMW there. The good thing for Mike is he's got a teammate right behind him. I think that's Travis Schwenke, who's going to also try to work the traffic here a little bit and try to work past the AM leader, Guidry. Guidry, probably not too concerned with these guys, but he does have an Andre Wedderburn a couple of cars back. It would be his nearest challenge.
Exactly. You know, he had, Guidry had at least a little bit of coverage here going into this race with those Orion Pro drivers girded up behind him. You know, as we look at it in the championship right now, you know, Guidry, again, your championship leader with an 11-point advantage.
Yeah.
Wedderburn currently sitting 8th in the championship. He could play a spoiler tonight.
Yeah, well, the second right now coming in was Chase West, and I don't see him in the field tonight here in the AM category. That bodes well for Guidry, Aaron Sunday, Neil Weston, all the others. I do see Weston out there.
Yeah, Aaron Sunday currently sitting 3rd in the championship, 47 points back from Guidry. So again, the essentially Guidry has to finish this race. We'll just
that may be his goal here, which is probably why he's not going to put up a lot of fight with the pro drivers around him, unless he just enjoys a 90-minute battle with a couple of the best drivers that we have to offer. Meanwhile, take a look at this. As things have gotten interesting here, still in second place, the battle of McPherson and Babaletskos. Babaletskos not letting Kevin McPherson get away as they're trying to chip away at Alex Crow's lead now at 2.4 seconds. That's going to be tough. They may have to probably encounter some GT3 traffic really before they're going to get aided and try to help keep up with Alex Crow.
Fernando Takahashi going side by side into Lacombe with Bobby Childs.
Oh no!
And there is contact.
There's Bobby Childs.
Takahashi and Childs getting together, coming into the final chicane. Childs gets that car back underway. Let's see if we could take a look. We'll take the Jim Cunningham chopper and see exactly what happens here.
That's just a whole lot of pressure from the outside, side by side, into the chicane, and that's just tight racing. Maybe a little bit aggressive for Takahashi there, but Bobby wasn't exactly moving to his right either, so we will see. Meanwhile, this looks like the battle here of Carlos Pereiro battling second in GTP. Yeah.
Yep.
Ben Rowe's not far behind them either in third. Sorry, in fourth. I can't even count, even when it's right in front of me.
That's right. You had a bunch of tequila last week, I'm sure, down in Mexico. I understand if you're.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah.
All right, so we're on board here with Michelle Squirk, the championship leader, coming in as Josh had done the math and says if she can hold this position, she can get herself a championship. But sometimes that's easier said than done. Certainly her work is cut out for in this long race tonight. Now, one thing we do want to talk about with the 90-minute format is fuel strategies. Looks like our GTPs and our GT3s can make it on one stopper, but the LMP2s, they're saying, likely is going to need 2 stops. That's where it'll get interesting when that battle between Crow and McPherson is how do they decide to do their stops when they have to do it twice.
Yeah, but Larry, also, as far as the pit stop strategy goes for GTP, from the looks of the fuel allocations here, the pit window is very, very short.
Yes.
Very small in GTP, possibly as small as 1 lap. That we think that most of these racers could go maybe 22 laps, and we anticipate a 44-lap race. So, I mean, I can do the math. That's 50% right there.
Yeah. Oh, we've been corrected. Apparently, we can't even do math or even listen to other people do math. If Michelle finishes third and Steven wins this race, Steven would be the championship. Michelle, to hang on, she has to finish second if Steven wins the race. So Michelle has worked, but she is right now in that close second, not far behind there.
The problem is, Larry, is we just got corrected by the person who gave us the numbers the first
He was right. He gave us proper information the first time. That was the scenario for Steven to win the championship. So that was did give us the correct info. I don't want to knock our producers on the field. They're helping us out better at math than we are. Or, well, that kind of goes without saying with Greg.
That is true. And X Cooler X, thank you very much. He says we're cooking, Larry. Cooking with WD-40.
I was wondering what that burning smell was.
No, that was just the smoke coming out of my head as I tried to do simple math. All right, so Carlos Barrero is still holding off the SRT Esport entry of Michelle Squarick here.
But
meanwhile, Larry, they're chipping away a little bit on Stephen Hudek's advantage.
Yeah, they're keeping up just fine. If they're within a couple of seconds of them, that's just fine in this type of scenario where it's going to come down to this the way the cars interact between the GTPs and the GT3s and that traffic management. Steven knows it, Michelle knows it, Carlos Barrero knows it. Right now, this is just settling in, turning laps, and probably, as you pointed out, they pretty much have to go halfway to make their stop on that one opportunity, which means they're likely doing some fuel save here to make sure they give themselves maybe an option somewhere.
All right, and you see there on lap number 5, the GTP field starting to make their way through some of the slower GT3 traffic as our leaders just passed Adam Cohen's number 11 Ford Mustang as we jump over to GT3. And see now as we've got, looks like Jeff Jacobs here in the field. Yeah, challenging Neil Weston's HTPK BMW. Yeah. And just ahead of them, Keith Stein in one of the Rockefeller Racing Ford Mustangs. Now, Jacobs is currently running 11th in Pro Weston, 3rd in AM.
Now, we had talked about how the AM category currently led by Chester Guidry, and not a lot of challengers to that here tonight. But his teammate is Neil Weston. I'm sure those HTPK cars would love to take a 1-2 here in the finale of the race.
Indeed.
With Weston right now running 3rd, he's got to catch up to Wedderburn in that Mustang, just a couple spots ahead if he wants to try and take second. The way the field is going now, it's a long night, but I'm sure the HTPK team is thinking potential 1-2.
Yeah, indeed, and Wedderburn as they come through the chicane here, Wedderburn as they come out of Lake Home and make the run down to Bruxelles, definitely in sight. Currently about 3 seconds up the road. Yeah.
There's on board from Guidry looking back at Travis Schwenke in that Aston Martin as they are. Schwenke currently, I think, in the 9th spot in Pro. Of course, Guidry, your leader in AM. They are right behind Mike Dam in the BMW and Charlie Hosea in the Mustang, in the Rockefeller Racing Mustang. And that's been a pretty good battle going on here as well for 7th in Pro.
And I should say, Larry, I'm a little surprised at the pace that we're seeing, or maybe I should say the lack of pace that we're seeing from Mike Dam and Travis Schwenke tonight. Dam in the BMW, Schwenke in the Aston Martin, and Larry, we've got breaking news. Let's go over and take a look here at GTP. Bobby Childs. His troubles tonight have not ended as he is being...
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oof.
That's Connor Nixon, who we saw him serve the drive-through penalty. So when he came out of the penalty, he must have been on track near Bobby. And that looks like both of them are going to be spending some time in the pits. Ouch.
And again, Connor Nixon, who was your winner 2 weeks ago at the Nürburgring.
Nixon is just trying to catch a little draft as they go down that long section heading towards the chicane. And Nixon might have gotten a little bit too close to Bobby trying to pick up that draft in there and
Yeah.
try to stay on Bobby's left. So.
All
Meanwhile,
right, Larry, another big GTP thing
this is
here.
about a second.
As Michelle Square gets around Carlos Barrero, I think as they came out of La Source and made the run down to Eau Rouge. But see here, Barrero's not done yet, hanging door to door with her.
But Michelle does get that spot, so that's what she needed to do, was to try and get ahead of Barrero. So it looks like she was able to do that on that move, and we'll keep up with them as they're making their way. I told you, getting through this traffic is going to be challenging tonight at this track. It's a lot of fun, but it is certainly a way to gain or lose a whole lot of gap.
All right, and over in LMP2, let's take a look. We've got a new runner in second place as Kevin McPherson manages to get around Bobby Babaletsko. So move the 26 car as they come into Lacombe.
Well, they've been battling.
Yeah,
they've been battling quite a bit and trying to keep up with the LMP2 leader, Alex Crow, which is what McPherson needs to do. Babaletsko's battling really wasn't probably part of his plan, but that's what McPherson needs to do if he wants to try and win this race and win this championship.
We're looking at the traffic that Michelle Squarick is having to deal with coming through Lacombe, as she is in the thick, right in the middle of that GT3 traffic as she just goes by Dam, Hosea, Guidry, and Schwenke.
One more comment just about the LMP2 battle that we had, McPherson and Babaletskos. McPherson's an SRT Esport driver. Babaletskos is a Majors Esport and teammates with Alex Crow, of course, currently leading the LMP2 class. So it is in Bobby and Alex's best interest for Bobby to continue to battle Kevin in that SRT Esport entry to try and keep Kevin off his game and not challenging Crow. So little team play going on there between Babaletskos and Crow.
And there you go. Josh Plays says the exact same thing in the chat, Larry, just as you're saying it.
Look at that.
Great minds think alike, and then there's me. All right, Larry, let's jump up to our GT3 Pro leader. That is Leo Dragotta, who's managed to work himself clear for the time being of younger brother Lucas Dragotta in the Dragon Sport Mercedes. But those two drivers have now they're starting to really separate themselves from the non-Mercedes drivers out there. Brian Coxon, who was our pole sitter tonight in GT3 Pro, now sitting almost a second and a half back from the two Mercedes.
Well, we've heard in the past in post-race interviews that Lucas has said that Leo's helped him with setups sometimes, and I'm starting to wonder if the family, while Lucas may not be an Orion driver, perhaps the Dragotta connection, the old Dragon Sport teammates, may have helped each other a little bit with setup, but certainly they're both racing very well. And like you say, pulling away from pole sitter Coxon, who's of course up there on one of those McLarens. And great job there for those two Dragottas. We'll see how long that continues to go on, or if we end up with a little bit of pressure from Coxon to try and keep up with the back of Dragotta.
All right, as Filippo Barberi flashes the headlights to Ilya Speaker just ahead there, as Fernando Takahashi back out on track goes and works his way past the two Ford Mustangs.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on this Babaletskos McPherson battle. As Josh had mentioned in the chat, that Babaletskos, of course, trying to help out his teammate Alex Crow, which means McPherson really is fighting against two drivers. And that's why you've got teammates to help you. Nothing illegal about this. It's just certainly just adds a little bit of a pest. And kind of like walking through the woods and you got that swarm of gnats around your head. That's probably what McPherson feels like right now as Babaletskos. Sorry for the analogy, calling you a gnat, but right now you're doing a very good job of bugging McPherson. See what I did?
I like how you just pulled that all right back together. That's awesome.
I could have said that the man with initials BB was acting like a swarm of bees, but I didn't really want to go there. Different kind of bumps.
Yeah. Missed opportunity, Larry.
Next time. This is a good battle, though. Really,
In
here
5
watching.
minutes, nobody will know. Nobody will remember.
This is great watching Bobby really pressure. Like even in spots like this where normally you wouldn't even try it, he's just hounding McPherson here.
Yeah, he's
just to keep him off the apex.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he just manages to get the nose underneath McPherson, able to keep him off the apex. Just those little things to slow him down.
Yeah. And probably also keeping Jordan Butler in this fight, which I'm sure Bobby wouldn't mind. And Butler sort of from a third party to the SRT Esport and Majors Esport battle. DNA Motorsports is Jordan's team, and so he's not really got loyalty to either one of them. Certainly would love to play with a third partner there if he can catch up with them. That's a good look at Jordan. Gonna hold by himself for a couple of corners. How rare is that?
All right, let's jump back over, Larry, to our GT3 racers. And we talked about Brian Coxon falling off the back of the two Mercedes. Well, he's not that far back, but Ethan Bass, who, of course, is looking to come away with his second GT3 Pro Championship in a row, sits right back behind him. And it is, at the moment, it is going to be tough running for Bass, who came into the final round here a couple points down from Leo Dragota. And so very important now that Bass is able to get around that McLaren.
Yeah, we were talking about the team play that's going on at LMP2, of course, with the Majors Esport team. And I'm wondering here if like an indirect team play is happening with Leo Dragota trying to fend off the pressure from Ethan Bass by using his old teammate, of course, Lucas Dragota, perhaps helping him with his setup, maybe giving him some tips just to get him as one more car in between Leo and his nearest rival in the points, Ethan Bass.
All right, jump back over to GTP, and it is Carlos Barrero now, who has been passed by Ben Rose.
Yeah.
The Acura driver moving up into third position, and wondering if Barrero may have shot his shot early on there, working against Michelle Squarick.
May have, yeah, and I'm starting to wonder if he just kind of got out of rhythm and he's kind of regained. Of course, now you get the draft on the Kemmel Straight, and that's going to help him get alongside and even up underneath Rose. So Barrero now takes that position back.
And Larry, here is the fly in the ointment. Bobby Bopoletscos, or the bee in the honey. I don't know. Bobby Bopoletscos now pulls it right alongside Kevin McPherson as they make the run down to Lacombe. And Bopoletscos was able to pull alongside before they got into the braking zone there, but slotted in back behind. He's going to try to use the draft now as they make the long run down the Kemmel Straight towards Lacombe.
He's going to probably use a little bit of that draft, or maybe not. Maybe he likes staying behind so he can really poke and prod through these tighter corners as they start to plummet down the hill. Not this time, though. Not quite close enough to the back of McPherson to make it interesting on this go-round.
And that's our second person, Larry, in the chat now, Giza Boo Boo, who's brought up "bee in the bonnet," and that's a term, or that's a phrase I hadn't heard before. But I guess both he and director John.
I would have figured you definitely would know how to get anything into your bonnet. Just All right, well, back to racing as we've got GT3 Hams battling. I think that's Casey and Pan here today.
Yep.
With, of course, now our second place in LMP2 trying to get through. And this may help McPherson a lot as it looks like Bubba Let's Go's just got stuck behind the battling GT3s. And that's going to give McPherson at least a moment to breathe as they start heading towards the start-finish line one more time. And although McPherson's got to clear one more GT3, I think, before he can go cleanly through the chicane.
Larry, look at this. You know, I thought that Leo and Lucas had checked out of this race, but Brian Coxon, who's pulling Ethan Bass along with him now, coming right up on the back of the Dragon Sport racer. Leo Dragota now has managed to find a little bit of free air both in front and behind, and now jumping over to the driver's right, it's Ethan Bass. He's going to follow Coxon down and around as they go through Bruxelles, and there you go, taking the pass, making the move is Brian Coxon, who now moves up in the third.
Yeah, good opportunity for Coxon when he had seen good move for Bass as Coxon had gotten himself out into the dirt on the exit of Lacombe, and here's the replay of it. So as they come through the chicane here at Lacombe, it's a good run already for Bass. So you watch Coxon right here. It gets a little bit wide, gets a little bit of that dirt, and there goes Bass up the inside. And at this point, Coxon can do nothing as this tight 180, the inside line, is all of the advantage.
So now we'll see here, Ethan Bass, who's lapping almost a half second faster than Leo Dragota. We'll see if the rear guard Mercedes can manage to hold him off here.
We'll see. Bass has definitely been very methodical. And that is your leader at GT3 Pro, Leo Dragota, and he is in the wall coming around Blanchimont, heading towards the chicane. This is going to hurt his chances, although I don't see a lot of damage. He may have lucked out on that. Here comes the replay, all by himself. Rob Blanchimont for this case.
A lot of smoke in the air. Dropped the wheel. Driver's left.
Oh, we almost saved it. Almost got the wall and left. Gets to the right. Oh, that is a wall. We'll see what kind of damage he has.
That was a hard hit, Larry. And that now moves Lucas Dragota to the lead.
Yeah, that's going to change some things.
Yeah, and drops Leo down into ninth. And Larry, that could be the championship decider right there.
Yeah. Does Josh have the points done here in GT3 Pro? He can do a little quick math for
Josh
us?
Can. Do I have to break out the sound effects for the abacus?
I have my TI-85 around here somewhere. Quick, let me find it.
Oh gosh.
Well, either way, it's certainly going to make it interesting now with Bass running a very close second to Lucas Dragota, our new leader in GT3 Pro, and Leo all the way down the order. So this could be interesting. And if Leo's got damage, that could potentially hurt the rest of his night. We'll see what kind of pace he's got when he gets going again here.
So John, I'm taking requests from the crowd. Josh Play wants to see the in-car from Leo Dragota, the current in-car, to see if his wheel is canted, if he's got a toe issue. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that definitely looks like he's a little bit to the
your
right.
Answer, Josh.
So left, of course, as you go to Pujols, it's going to be a long left, but when he turns the wheel, which should be straight, look at that. It's definitely got some right kick into it. Yeah, that toe is way off on that car. Good call, Josh.
Turning great gear.
Josh definitely going to take Greg's job.
Yeah. Josh, what are you doing on Monday night, January 12th?
Little foreshadowing there.
Yes. In case I were not behind the microphone on Monday night, January 12th, what are you doing? And actually, Larry, this would be a great time to mention that the season number 10 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Mini Mike Sports Car Challenge returns on January 12th. where Larry Lefty McLeod and announcer to be named later will bring the opening round to you.
It'll be Stubby and Josh calling the play-by-play.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we got a good battle going on here.
Stubby in the club.
There's a whole lot of BMWs and Mustangs battling out here. As Mike Dam right there with Charlie Hosea behind him. I think he's got Ilya Speaker right in front of him. So a couple of those Rockefeller Racing entries there around him. And then just a little further is Filippo Barberi and another Mustang. So, yeah, good little train.
And Larry Leo Dragota takes to the pit lane.
Oh, no.
We'll see if that is going to be just to take fuel or... And I doubt, and it's much earlier than we would expect. I'm sure they're going to be taking repairs.
Yeah, because we were told the pit window for GT3 was lap 18 to 22, and not quite there. He had only around lap 12 for these GT3s. So, yeah, this is definitely early. He must have some damage. That toe was really, really stubbed, so to speak. No offense, Stubby. Yeah, this essentially is the battle for fourth in GT3 Pro. Starting at Barberi, and then right down the line, Speaker, Dan Hosea, and Schwenke all together on track right now. While the battle for the top three is a little tighter even between Lucas Dragota, Ethan Bass, and Brian Coxon.
Oh, Larry, look who's back.
Yep.
Bob Oletzko's made up all the ground that he lost trying to work his way through GT3 traffic, and he is right back to being a thorn in Kevin McPherson's left side at the moment.
Yes, he's definitely, and again, he doesn't look like he wants to necessarily get alongside everywhere, but he certainly wants Kevin to know that he's there anytime he wants. As they just went by one of the HDPK BMWs in that last run. Let's see. Bobby might just be thinking, I could get alongside of Kevin going down the Campbell Straight here. Oh, and a nice train, as we were just focusing in on that train of Mustangs and BMWs. That's right in front of this crowd.
Right in front of these two.
Yep.
And Jordy, it's a 2015 Honda Civic, and it's hers, not mine. I wouldn't drive a Prius.
Yeah, so here comes the LMP2 battle. I'm going to ignore Craig for a minute. McPherson with his shadow known as Bobby Boboletskos are going to be heading down into this train of GT3s that look like they're going to go too wide and picking up gravel, throwing gravel at our pair of LMP2s. Nice contact. Woo.
Boboletskos slides in underneath. It looked like there was definitely some contact there where he moved Kevin McPherson out of the way, but Boboletskos gets by. And let's take a look from the Jim Cunningham chopper.
It was really close. McPherson may have thought there was more room. Boboletskos gets his nose down in there at the last second. Oh, that is definitely contact. That is
literally
aggressive.
Moved him out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't mind if I do. And he just sort of squeezes between. And now he's going to try and put some GT3s between himself and McPherson. Or maybe he'd rather play a little with Kevin instead. Mike Dan moves aside. Sure, with a sorry in there somewhere.
All right, let's move a little bit further up the field, Larry.
Close.
Yes, it is. Again, Ethan Bass currently running second in the championship, coming into the round right behind our leader, Lucas Dragota, who was, and I'll have to go back and check, Larry, what season Lucas was the AM champion.
Probably could tell you in a second.
Let's see.
Give me a second. You have it? Because if not, I can
No, I
very,
don't.
very quickly. Oh, I have to go back further then. Thought I had it here.
Yeah. Why do I not? You know what? Maybe I'm thinking of a mini mite. And Larry, look at this.
Yeah.
McPherson right back alongside Baba Let's Go's.
Oh, that is so tight.
And the gloves might be, and the everything else might be off.
Well, as snug as things are, someone might want to put the latex gloves on. It's it's that close. There's a lot of touching happening here.
Loving touching and squeezing. Yeah.
Just a little bit. On their journey, yes.
Exactly, on their 90-minute journey.
Well, they made their way through that little pack of GT3s, and now they're right back where they started from, with Bobby just behind Kevin. And I do wonder if Bobby is doing this on purpose and staying behind Kevin deliberately.
Yeah,
He's just got to make it. For 90 minutes, Kevin's really going to have to earn his keep tonight. They are now 7.5 seconds behind your LMP2 leader, Alex Crow, which, did we mention it's Bobby's teammate, Alex Crow, that's in the lead of this class? We may have mentioned that before.
We may have. So, Larry, I could swear that Lucas won the AM championship back in like season 10 or season 11, but I'm not showing this. I'm showing Zach Mosley as having won in season 11, Ilya Speaker winning in season 10, Jeff Brooks back in season 9, and I knew Leo had moved up to the pro ranks like 2 years ago. Back took the championship in season 8.
Yeah, perhaps it was in one of the other series that he had won.
Yeah, I think I was thinking of the sports car series.
He's won something on Monday nights, that's for sure. Need to get our official statistician out to let us know how that was. Which exact series?
So is Josh our statistician, or do we have to go find
Josh,
somebody during
digging.
the break? Okay. Well, Josh, going to give you a couple minutes because we're right at the top of the hour. And so we're going to take a quick break. We'll thank some of our partners and sponsors. And when we come back, we'll take you all the way to the checkered flag here at Spa, where it is the season finale, round number 8 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge. Stay with us.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The SCCA Foundation is a 501c3 organization serving as the charitable arm of the Sports Car Club of America. One of the programs partially funded by the foundation is the SCCA Academy, an online learning management system used to keep real-life racing track officials up to date on the highest standards of race safety and officiating. Through this program, the SCCA Foundation is supporting the future of the best trained corner workers and event officials in motorsport. You can support these efforts at www.sccafoundation.org. The search is over. The most comprehensive league scoring solution is here, with the ability for multi-level championships, custom incident tracking, post-race time penalties, support for heats, drop weeks display, multi-car team scoring, advanced web widgets, rookie championships, a custom paint system, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, ricmotech.com.
Welcome back to Spa, where it's round number 8 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge, the season finale. I'm Greg Ginsburg, along with Grandpa, and of course, Jonathan Grabowski, pressing all the buttons, giving you all the best views of tonight's action. We're on board right now. It's been a quiet night for Stephen Hudek, who is managing a 12-second advantage right now over Michelle Squarick. But as Mr. Chinsky, Josh Plays in the chat, I think, has spelled out if Squarick can manage to bring her car home in second, she will take the championship, as she came into the evening with just what was it, Larry? About 7 points, I think. No, that's not right. That was over in GT3.
It was a handful.
Yeah,
it wasn't. Points. It was more points going into the 7th round than it is going to this final round.
Exactly.
That we know. But in the pits is Kevin McPherson in his chase of Alex
6
Pro.
points, by the way.
Kevin McPherson decided to separate himself from Bobby Valescos.
Yeah, he'd had enough. But Fernando Takahashi comes down the pit lane now, so Kevin McPherson might run in fear.
But keep in mind, and some of these classes, 2 of the 3 classes, we're expecting a single stop between GTPs or GT3s. But in LMP2s, they do need 2 stops, which means this is a good strategy here for McPherson. Get a stop, get completely separated from Babaletscos. Wouldn't you be surprised if McPherson takes an odd fuel? Not a short splash, not a full load, something in
just
between.
To stay off of the Babaletscos strategy.
The question is, if Babaletscos has a spotter, they might be able to estimate how long McPherson's in the pits getting fuel and perhaps try to mimic that amount. But that's a tough one to call. But we'll see how smart that Majors eSport team really is.
Yeah, so McPherson was the first of the LMP2 racers to pit. He has now rejoined. And let's see, he rejoins right at the back of the LMP2 field, quite a bit back from Jake Vasconcelos, but looks like he's got some clean air.
Yeah, that's exactly what he needed to see. No one around.
But Larry, I think he is coming up on...
Is it Jeff Jacobs?
I think Jeff Jacobs was.
He's got some time before he gets there. Yeah, I do see him. Jeff, between classes, Jeff is usually very cordial, letting the prototypes on through. I expect nothing different. The good thing for Kevin is, look, if there's anyone else around Jeff even, Kevin might be able to make some quick laps, get there. Meanwhile, his rival Bobby Babaletscos has decided to come in. Let's see where Bobby comes out. How close is he to Kevin?
So you think maybe he short fills this one just a little bit so that he comes out right where Kevin is?
I mean, he might know pit deltas and all that stuff. We will see. By the way, Josh came back and said Lucas won GT4 in the Mini-Mite Season 7. He is correct. He did win GT4 in Season 7. We had actually gotten that during the break. No prizes, Josh. Sorry. Greg, the prize vault is totally empty this week.
If you want, I do have a Focusrite Vocaster 1. I'll be happy to send it to you in a set of headphones so that you can jump on the air on Monday night, January 12th. You'd have to give up your first run of the season, of course, but...
Leo's in the chat. Not happy about it. So, Leo, welcome
hasn't had
to
the best of luck tonight. And here we go. Brian Coxon coming back at Ethan Bass.
Well, Leo's teammates trying to help him out a little bit here. Brian, of course, an Orion driver, knowing that the lead dog is out tonight, it's time to do something else. If he could pester Bass, maybe help Leo cling to that championship. and they have fallen about 2.5 seconds behind Lucas Dragotta. So both brother Lucas and teammate Brian are helping out a little bit here to try and hound on Ethan Bass in the same way, of course, that Bobby Bubba Let's Ghost in the LMP2 is doing to Kevin McPherson.
I was looking for a reason to say that Bass looked like a fish out of water when he dropped the wheel over there a couple corners ago. But I'm not going to do it. All right, heading down the pit lane, our LMP2 leader, Alex Crow, had about a 16-second advantage over Jordan Butler, who now crosses the stripe and will be heading into the lead. Right about now.
Keep an eye. Yep, keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, Caleb Lehman comes in. Of course, Kevin McPherson's teammate from SRT Esport, Caleb Lehman. We haven't talked much about Caleb tonight. The SRT Esport team, of course, with a couple of drivers here in LMP2. And, of course, Stephen Hudek and Michelle Squirk fighting it out for the GTP supremacy, also SRT Esport teammates.
All right, Travis Schwenke brings his Orion Aston Martin down the pit lane, pitting in from 8th position. His teammate Mike Dam has made up a number of positions from the start. Remember, he started in, I believe, 8th position in GT3 Pro and 11th position in GT3 overall. He is now up into 4th position, still about 11 seconds back from his teammate Brian Coxon, but still making up ground as he has made his way clear of Filippo Barberi and Ilya Speaker.
Yeah, I wonder if this is one of those nights, this weeks, that Mike Dams didn't quite get a lot of practice in and preparation for this one, but his race pace is on and able to make these kind of moves and continue his pace to develop over the course of 90 minutes. Perhaps he was out doing his Christmas shopping, who knows, this week, but if you don't get your practice in, it's hard to have that raw speed when it comes to qualifying.
Ooh, and Larry, you heard it here first. Josh Chinsky going to be joining GTP, moving up up in the ranks when we start season number 15. And opening round is going to be Monday night, January 19th.
Looking forward to that. We definitely need to give some love to the OHND teams when we get a chance. Aaron Sunday in this race, of course.
They keep throwing tip money at us, Larry, and I don't know. One, I don't know where we keep the tip jar over at Apex, but and I think we have to share it with Jonathan Grabowski anyhow. But yeah, is Die Brad? Is that Die Brad or is that D Brad?
Well, either way, he's saying go Aaron and Team OHND. So there you go. There is Aaron in the Porsche. All by himself right about now, running in 4th spot here in GT3M. I'll tell you what Jonathan said. Wow, the pits are getting busy.
Yes, they
this
are.
Is it. Yeah, what we talked
Michelle
about.
Squarick.
Wow.
Carlos Barrero and Michelle Squarick jump out of the pit boxes almost at identical times. Squarick manages to beat Barrero to the track. She maintains 3rd position with Hudak and Ben Rose, your leaders.
I suspect the Squarick took tires, and that might be why she put herself right there alongside of Barrero there in the pits. She's also going to be sketchy on this outlap. Her pit time's a little bit slower. This could be interesting between those two.
Barrero goes around the outside as they make the run down to Lake Home.
But she wants to keep Barrero behind her because she knows that if she can hold the 2nd spot in the net after pits, that she's got a championship going to be waiting for her. Meanwhile, her teammate, Stephen Hudak, is in the pits. Ben Rose is still out there, maybe on his way to the pits as well.
All right, Stephen Hudak pits in from the lead. And Larry, perhaps more important, Aaron Sunday brings his Porsche down the pit lane.
Very important, because there you can see him in the pits. Once there he is.
There he is.
All right, Hudak is up. Ben Rose on his way in. Barrero and Squarick are still battling. Barrero looks like he's got himself ahead of Michelle on this lap coming out of the pits. But if they've got new tires, which Michelle's been known to do and play the long game, we've seen that before.
Yeah,
a lot
Larry,
of traffic,
but,
though.
And I was going to say, and Michelle has garnered a reputation this season for being mighty aggressive working through traffic. So we'll leave it that. Let's see here as she comes underneath Andre Wedderburn's Ford Mustang.
Of course, Wedderburn teammates with Barrero. Yeah, I give Michelle maybe this lap or so. She's willing to give up that position. She's willing to stay back. She will likely turn it on here as we get down to the last 30 minutes. Remember, we're only just past halfway. 90 minutes tonight.
Now you tell me.
We're at the 49th minute of 90.
All right, Brian Coxon, our pole sitter tonight in GT3 Pro, pits as well as does Filippo Barberi in the Speed Lab machine. Chester Guidry coming in from the lead in GT3 AM in his BMW. In the HTPK machine, Andre Wedderburn, another one of our Speed Lab entries, now on the pit lane as well.
Wedderburn was in second in the AM category before making his stop. Guidry could maintain the lead depending on where Stephen May is. We'll get back to that in a minute because, again, Squirk and Barrero continued to battle. Hudek is still back into the lead despite the pit stop. And did I see Ben Rose has already stopped?
Ben Rose has stopped. And both Hudek and Rose with a little bit south of 40 seconds in the pit box.
This will make things interesting because we know the story, thanks Josh, that Michelle Squirk's got to finish second to win the championship if Stephen Hudek wins this race. She now has two challengers between her and that prize. She's got Ben Rose sitting in second and Carlos Barrero in third in front of her sitting in fourth. So work cut out.
And Rose there, not that far up the road.
No, not at all. It's just 8/10 now between Ben Rose and Carlos Barrero as in front of them a little battle going on between some Mustangs. Which Mustangs those were? If that's Ethan Bass.
I think that's Ethan Bass there with some slower traffic. That might have been.
It may have been Wedderburn coming out of the pits.
Yeah, I think that. Indeed, yeah, it's that's the Wedderburn Mustang.
That is Wedderburn alongside Neil Weston.
That's the Wedderburn Mustang.
Yeah. All right. Meanwhile, Ben Rose now has company as Carlos Barrero appears to have caught him. Michelle Squirk again about a second back. Again, my suspicions are Michelle took tires. I do not know if the others did as well. No one had blazing fast pit stops. But the quickest of the group was Barrero at 37 seconds, about 3 seconds quicker than Squirk. So could explain why his pace is still very strong despite having just come in. Let's just kind of keep our eye on Squirk. She's done this before and won races. Was it, I think it was Mexico City or which race
City.
She had where she took that stop, did the fresh tires, faded back, and ultimately came on to win that race.
Larry, Lucas Dragotta pitting in from the lead, took his pit stop on his way back out. He's going to rejoin in second, back behind Ethan Bass and Brian Coxon, who's running in third. His Coxon in the Orion McLaren now, only about a second back.
Which makes Ethan Bass one of the few cars in the field that has not stopped yet. There you could see him.
And he's built up, Larry, about a 40-second advantage, 42 seconds.
Yeah.
Transit time is about 57, or at least it was 57 for Lucas. There, Coxon actually much shorter.
That doesn't count some of the pit in lane and that kind of stuff. So we will have to see how that works out. Meanwhile, that's a lot of damage, and that's Guidry, your leader. What was your leader in AM?
He was your leader in the number one machine.
Oh, he's going to use the reverse gear.
Well, that's because the first gear might not be working so well, Larry. He's got a lot of damage there. Thankfully, right by the entrance to the pit lane. Let's take a look and see what happened as he came down to the chicane.
Oh, did he Leo Dragotta himself? It looks like he did.
Yes, he did.
He got that left side wall, whereas Dragota only got the right side. Chester's going to get the twofer. He got the left and the right side. Well, we were talking about Chester's opportunities to win a championship, really in a good position. And he's going to sit here and watch the rest of the race in the pits. Meanwhile, Ethan Bass, leader in GT3 Pro, in for his only stop.
And car goes up on the jacks, taking tires.
See where he comes out relative to Dragota and Coxon.
Yeah, and so Coxon had a really short pit stop, Larry, and by short, it's about 3 seconds shorter than Dragota or anybody around him.
Yeah, I think we're going to catch a replay here of Lucas, as he may have had a bit of an issue here alongside Coxon as they're side by side. And there's a little, I don't know if the slide was first, the contact was second.
Yeah,
perhaps?
I don't know.
We might have to see an overhead on this one.
Yeah.
It was tight. Look at this.
I mean, from the initial shot, it looks like the rear end started to walk out on him a little bit before. No,
oh, yeah, that's contact.
I think there was contact.
Yeah. You know what? To me, that's racing contact. I think Lucas on the outside was really tight, probably a little too tight. Needed to give a little bit more room. So
yeah,
we'll
and Coxon had the wheels on the left-hand curving. There really wasn't anywhere for him to go.
I will say the stewards are looking at it. Meanwhile, we got a replay here now. Lucas, after that, later in the same lap, and he may have Leo'd himself. This looks exactly like Leo's spin, except more wall on the left. So between Guidry, Leo, and now Lucas, it is a rough night heading down through Blanchimont.
Oof. And to add insult to injury, another little tap of the wall as he tried to get the car righted. And as you can imagine, Lucas Dragota, who was in line for a win here tonight at Spa, now finds himself on the pit lane taking repairs as we jump back over to the battle now for second in GTP. Larry, it is Ben Rose in his Acura, Carlos Barrero, and Michelle Squarick separated by no more than a car length and a half between them. And break out the dollar bills. Aaron Sunday right there ahead as they go into Lake Combe.
He's got no choice but camera time now as he's got the battle of the GTPs going roaring past him. Oh, and they do.
And great run by Barrero there as they come out of Lake Combe and go down to the Bruxelles. And
the grip on the outside there for Rose really helping him as they head down the hill. You know, meanwhile, while Lucas Dragota was having his issues there spinning, I was thinking there's another chance for, of course, for Ethan Bass to move up a spot and take points away, maybe have a chance to catch this championship. Leo in the chat decided to take all of our thunder away. He thinks he's got it locked up no matter what happens to Ethan Bass. I prefer the drama, Leo. I'm just saying.
all these kids with their new math.
I know. All right, well, we don't need math to see what's going to happen here. Squirk, Barrero, Rose. You don't need to do any maps, just to watch and see. 3 cars occupy the same chicane as Michelle gets. She does not. Michelle decides to back out. Smart move there. Yeah. She's the one with the most on the line here. Needs to make clean passes, but she's got 33 minutes to do it.
Exactly. That long, Larry?
Exactly. I'll wake you up at the 29th minute.
Thank you. I'm gonna go down and get my green juice. I'll be right back.
Yeah, try the Metamusical crackers. I hear they're wonderful. All right, heading on to the Camel Straight. Who's got the draft? Wow, is one of our HTPK cars just nearly parked right there. I think that was Neil Weston watching these prototypes go roaring by. And right in front of them, I think that's Alex Crow, your LMP2 leader, who's got a couple of big prototypes now in his mirror for the first time tonight. Put him a lap down from these leaders, and he can have a part to play. But here through the twisty stuff, the LMP2 could actually be quicker. So those GTPs are going to have to wait. And you've got some more cars up there. In fact, that must have been Chester Guidry on the Temple Street, because that's Weston right there.
Well, Guidry had picked up some of the damage a little bit earlier, right? So,
yeah.
I explain the lack of pace.
And that looks like Andre Wedderburn, square in the middle of excitement, right where he likes to be.
Right in the middle of the track.
He's out of the way for the moment. Alex Crow is even thinking, let me get around Wedderburn. He does. It's Rachel in the chat cheering on OHND, hoping for no drama, no drama, no drama. And I, again, won't repeat what Jonathan said. Is that what the OHND means? OH, no drama? Our house, no drama? I think it does. That's what she said.
That's exactly what she said.
Yeah. Once again, through a low source. Michelle Square needs to get strong exits. Probably needs a little bit of draft. But right now, it's almost like a draft train here behind Rose and then Barrero. And Rose gets really good launch out of the source.
Yeah, he does.
Putting Barrero down a little bit. I'm wondering if Rose actually is running a little more downforce that helps him in those slow corners. We saw already an outside pass, or at least position protect for Rose. He may be using that to his advantage in his Acura. Rachel in the chat referring to herself as the spousal unit. Self-identifies that way. That's cool. Meanwhile, there's your battle. Ethan Bass, Brian Coxon. That is the battle for the lead in GT3 Pro. Mike Dam a distant 15 seconds back.
Yeah, and Dam now up to third.
Considering where he started, was it 11?
With the two Dragotas.
Yeah, unbelievable drive here for Mike Dam tonight. What could have been if he could have gotten some better qualifying in.
Yeah, indeed. Making up 8 positions so far.
I tell you, Coxon is certainly going to be putting pressure on Ethan Bass. Bass, whether there's a championship on the line for Bass or not, he's going to try and win this thing.
Wow, we know how Larry, you know, this might not be a bad idea to check back in over with our AM drivers at some point, because I am showing now Wedderburn as being our leader in GT3 AM ahead of Neil Weston.
Yeah, well, remember that was Weston was trying to make it a 1-2 for HDPK, and of course that's not really going to happen so much. Yeah, no, not with the issues with Chester Guidry. Now finding himself a couple laps down, but Wedderburn, Weston are certainly close. Just a couple seconds between them right now.
Yeah, and if we look back just a moment ago, Weston taking a look to the inside, going down into Lacombe.
Yeah, good defense of that position there for Wedderburn.
Yeah, wonderful defense there. Well, he had practice with all the GTP cars on the prior lap.
Another donation from OHND.
Holy mackerel.
Sunday brought everybody out.
They're gonna be doubling our day rate here at Apex.
Well, we appreciate that. And of course, there you go.
Yeah, thank you.
There's the man of the hour, Aaron Sunday, with wife Rachel looking on, or spousal unit Rachel looking on.
You've got OHND, and then you've got SUR, Sir, spousal unit Rachel.
We've got full TLA. That's 3-letter acronyms.
Yeah.
I work in the auto industry. Our entire business is TLAs. Good look at Barrero there now, working his way past Mike Dam. Just going to let these big GTPs play through. I'm going to back off a little more there, Mike. See him straddle that curb, though, to not get in the way of Michelle Squirk. Those long, extremely large prototype GTPs do not take chicanes very well. GT3s are quicker. LMP2s are quicker through there for sure, because they need to stretch their legs. This is where they do it. It's coming out of La Source. One thing we haven't talked about in a little while since the first round of pit stops for the LMP2s is when and how will the second round of pit stops for the LMP2s take place, as McPherson trying to stay away from Bobby Babaletskos.
I mean, he's got 4.5 seconds on him now.
He does,
and that could close back up exactly on the second.
Let's see how the pit stops exchange when that time comes, which really could be any time now. We know that if they were to top off the fuel, they could certainly go more than 30 minutes, and so anytime we could see Bobby or Kevin make their way through. There's a good shot of Kevin. Not going to happen this lap as he just went past pit in, but it could be any time. He'll probably just looking for that optimal opportunity and trying to catch this guy, Alex Crow, who's probably uncatchable tonight, but he also has to make another pit stop, so who knows?
Yeah, could end up.
And Alex's first stop may have been quicker than the rest. So
it was quite a bit shorter, Larry. And so I think he's off cycle from all the other drivers. Was in the pit box about 15 seconds less than any of the other racers. And so we might expect this second stop to be much longer.
Yeah, that'll make things interesting. Quick note here from Rachel, the OHND. They were GTA 5 racing crew, and of course run by crew leader, the spousal unit racing, Rachel. And so, yeah, they've got 170 members worldwide. That's huge. As we've got our Josh Chinsky man and the LMP2 man on the ground here telling us all about pit stop strategies here for this next time through. Could make it interesting. Let's get a good look at Alex there, trying to win the championship. And look at that, right on cue.
There you go, Larry. You're like Kreskin, man.
I didn't have a camera on. You can thank Jonathan. He knew it was happening. I just call what I see on the screen. I just look at pretty colors and talk about them.
If I didn't always have my rose-colored glasses on, Larry, I'd be right there with you. All right, back to the battle for fourth in pro. Here now is Schwenke's challenging Ilya Speaker.
Yeah, a little fight there with another one of the Orion teams. Of course, Schwenke in this battle. Coxon's in the battle for the lead. And somewhere in there is a Mike Dam.
All right, so also Larry in GTP, just to update Alex Crow when he rejoined in third.
In LMP2, yeah.
In LMP2, and again, a short-ish stop.
And he's got teammate Babaletskos just in front of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's got Jordan Butler just behind him, but literally Babaletskos might be able to give a toe to Crow for a little bit here. As Leo Dragota rejoins the field. He did not give up on the entire night. He decided to come on back in and get a few laps.
Maybe he decided that he couldn't win just by...
Even if he can, maybe he just came back. He knows he's got to be here to accept his award.
Yeah, that's true.
If we're going to hand out championships here tonight, so we appreciate...
Although if you did an interview via the chat, I think that would be...
Yeah? An interview of the YouTube chat?
Yeah.
All right, well, here's your battle for fourth. Speaker going defensive here through the chicane, trying to hold that line, hold Schwenke back.
One of the big hips on that Mustang swaying from side to side, Larry.
They're not far behind Mike Dam. Mike Dam just just ahead of him.
2.5
coming out of
seconds.
source. Yeah. So the third place, not a lock right now for Mike Dam.
That Mustang
Oh,
gets
those
such a good run out
Mustangs.
of the source there.
Those Mustang sounds are so good. Takahashi roaring through. All right, well, with about 21, 22 minutes left, we still have Stephen Hudek trying to win the championship in the GTP. He has Ben Rose and Carlos Barrero right now helping him on his cause. Michelle Squirk just behind the other two. See if that can change. And of course, McPherson, Crow battling it out. We know McPherson still has to make one more pit stop. So does Bobby Babaletskos. We believe Alex Crow is done with his stops, in a good position to win the class for tonight. But how is the championship going to be played out as if we want to bring up those points, because they get interesting as McPherson came into the night ahead of Crow by about 4 points.
Yeah, John, if we could bring up those LMP2 points. We'll give him a little time.
So that'll be an interesting finish to this one. But there you go.
There we go.
McPherson came in at a 4-point advantage over Alex Crow. Lehman, Babaletskos a little further back down the order, but we know that it's that battle of McPherson and Crow that's probably going to define this thing. So if you're McPherson, you really know you need to finish second. You might even need to win this race, depending on how the rest of this thing shakes out. But for Crow, all you can do is win and hope for the best. We'll kind of keep our eye on McPherson as we can see him right there. We're still waiting for that second pit stop.
Meanwhile, Larry, over in LMP2, or probably not LMP2, in GTP, I'm sorry, Hudek with that almost 20-second advantage over Rose, and Rose continues to hold off Barrero and Squarick. Squarick now falling almost 2 seconds back from the driver of the number 14 BMW, and as we've determined, I mean, it is absolutely critical that in the remaining minutes, and only about 20 minutes remaining now, that she move her way up from fourth to maintain this championship.
Yeah, what we don't know a lot of times is fuel strategies. If you find yourself a little bit short of fuel, sometimes you'll see a driver's pace fall off, and that's really just them employing a little bit of fuel-saving strategy. As a big spin looked like happened right in front of Michelle Squarick, that has got to feel a little bit sketchy. You see a big dirt cloud go up, but looks like she's continuing. But she does have to pick up a lot of ground now on Barrero, and then again, even more ground to catch Ben Rose for second if she wants to claim this championship. Either she's just checking that fuel load, making sure she's safe, and then she'll go on the charge, or maybe there's an issue there that we just don't know of.
All right, back in the battle for fourth in Pro, Speaker and Schwenke. And Schwenke's been pretty much holding station here, Larry. Both he and Speaker have been putting in almost identical lap times for the last number of laps. You're just kind of shadowing the Mustang driver, maybe waiting to see. And we've seen at some of the other rounds this season where the Mustang does seem to run its rear tires off towards the end of a stint, and maybe that's something that that Schwenke is counting on at this point.
Yeah, certainly put the pressure on anybody. You can try and employ that strategy. We'll see how well Speaker responds in controlling the tire wear. You see, even now, still just making sure that line is defended. If you're really a Speaker, trying to make sure you don't give up that inside line through the critical chicane. But they are still catching, I think, to Mike Dam now, just 2.1 seconds in front of them. So last time by, Dam was a 16.6, Speaker a 16.4. So perhaps picking up a couple tenths. There you go. Look at the graphic right on cue. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Where are my glasses? definitely closing in. No traffic right now for this battle.
No.
Third place. They're all just kind of by themselves. But I got to imagine another 17 minutes, they'll get at least one more run through them with some prototypes. That could make things interesting. So we get another good shot of Leo Dragota out for a beautiful drive here in his Mercedes.
Yeah, is Leo now running around 5 laps down. Oh, and here we go, Larry.
Yeah.
Andre Wedderburn, he's got Neil Weston hounding him.
This could make things interesting. We don't think the championship is going to be altered. We think at this point, Chester Goodry likely has it locked up. That doesn't mean these guys aren't fighting for a chance to claim a race victory here at Spa, one of the best racetracks, not only in the sim, but in the world. So if you're Weston, and you've got your teammate already clinched the championship, you'd love to say, well, you still won the last race of the year. So that's where Weston's at in that HDPK BMW, trying to catch Wedderburn in the Speed Lab Mustang.
Yeah, indeed. And Larry, Neil Weston came into tonight just 4 points back from Aaron Sunday.
Oh no!
And
let's not upset Sunday's fans.
I don't want to upset anybody. I think we're going to be okay as Aaron is continuing to run in third position. But just wanted to bring that up, John. If we could throw up the points for GT3 AM.
There you go.
Here we go.
Yeah, so you can see the 11-point advantage for Chester Goodry over Chase West, who is not here tonight. It's Aaron Sunday, who's about 40 points back or so from Goodry. Sunday running in here currently in that third spot, but it's Weston, Wedderburn, Weston fourth, Wedderburn eighth. Who would like to claim victory here, as I think that's race leader Hudak just going by.
Yeah, I believe that was Hudak. And and what was another tight battle going in, Larry, battle for fifth in the championship. Stephen May and Dan Carrillo only separated by 2 points coming into the evening, but without Dan Carrillo here and Stephen May running in sixth position. I think that's going to lock Stephen May in likely in the fifth position here in the championship. Carlos Barrero closing things down once again on Ben Rose, battle for second. And they've, well, Larry, you said it might be a question of whether or not Squaric had the fuel to make it to the end and maybe was doing a little fuel savings. She has now dropped off, I think, almost another full second since the last time we checked in. She's almost 3.5 seconds back from this battle. As Barrero, once again, very aggressive, takes a look to the inside of Rose, trying to push him off the apexes just a little bit, get him off his game.
Well, this battle continues. This actually could really help Squaric try to close that up and make a game out of this. I do wonder if she's trying to save a little bit of fuel here, considering how far her pace is sort of fallen.
All right, Larry, and it looks like Kevin McPherson now coming down the pit lane for stop number 2.
And then the question is, where is Babaletskos, who's currently leading this race in the LMP2 group? We know he's got to pit again. The question is when and where and how long, because he and Kevin McPherson were, of course, nose to tail at the time the pit stops all started for their first go-round. McPherson's out. Splash and Go is gone.
And McPherson is going to rejoin in fourth position.
Meanwhile, Cale Lehman has joined his teammate, Kevin McPherson. Maybe try a little draft push here. I think they are going to do a little bit of
I think that's
bump
exactly
drafting.
what the plan is. A little push, little bump draft.
Yeah, just a little bit. Well, that's not bump drafting. That is Ben Rose, Carlos Barrero. Now they have found traffic.
And they've got Wedderburn and Weston, that battle for the lead in AM directly ahead of them.
Yeah, and this is going to be interesting because through this quarter, the GT3s are faster. Watch them. They're going to stay right outside there. And luckily for the prototypes, they're able to stay on that inside line and get going through there. And that could have been ugly. A little bit of dirt for Barrero exiting the left kink. But look at Squirrick now, closing up quite a bit on them. We'll see if she can get around the Weston and Wedderburn battle. She's gonna take some time, be patient, see if that patience pays off, or does she get burned trying to be too patient? I don't know.
Oh, and it's close, Larry, and Wedderburn gives her the room.
Just enough room for Michelle to get through. Any little bit of ground that she had gained when Rosa Brewer went through has been lost. She's now 3.5 seconds behind them again. But the battle continues here in GT3AM. Wedderburn Weston. Well, Mike Dam just trying to do what he can to stay out of the way of Babaletskos and Crow, as Crow now takes the lead back in the race over that teammate. And that was interesting to watch. But better way to let your teammate go by than just to sit behind a GT3 car down Kemmel Straight.
Yeah. Well, especially since Crow's already had a second stop. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, at this point, yeah, Babaletskos' strategy here is to let Crow go with as fast a lap as you can help him get, and then let him drift on up the road.
And then
hope that when you stop, that you've got a McPherson near you to help a little bit. As I suspect Jordan Butler probably still has to make one more stop as well. Ten minutes left. 10 minutes
10.
In the season.
And Travis Schwenke takes a look to the inside on Ilya Speaker as these two seem
As Hudak
eternally
behind
locked in
them.
battle. Yep.
Yeah, that's the race leader.
Right behind.
Hudak has time to be patient if he chooses to take it. Looks like he's going to. As I think that's Jordan Butler in the LMP2 car that's now coming up on that same GT3 battle between Speaker and Schwenke. Mike Dam, again, is going to have to just yield and let the prototype play through, and he does.
And so Josh wanted to know what the pit stop times were between Babaletskos and McPherson. I believe that McPherson was in the pit box for his first stop, Larry, somewhere around 26 or 27 seconds, which we thought was very short at the time. And his second stop was only 14 seconds in the box.
Yeah.
Babaletskos' only stop was 40.5 seconds.
Yeah. So with only 8 minutes to go, Babaletskos' stop is going to be very, very quick. There's only 8 laps. How much fuel do you really need for 8 laps to make it to the end? So it's going to be quick, and we'll see if that puts him really close to McPherson. That's, I'm sure, what Alex Crow would like to see. It's going to be very, very close. Meanwhile, Stephen Hudak, we haven't talked much about Stephen tonight. He's chasing the championship as well. Maybe for him, that's a good thing. He's just quietly doing his thing, hoping for some help there. Although it is his teammate he's trying to withhold for the championship. But he's right now getting help from Ben Rose and Carlos Barrero. So we'll check in with Hudak, I'm sure, here in the closing minutes. Meanwhile, the GT3 AM class, it's these two. Still working their days at it. I think it's Aaron Beaver now. We haven't talked about Aaron in the D2D entry, going by here on the Kemmel Straight in his Cadillac. So it should be in the LMP2. There should be a couple of stops left. I think it's going to be Jordan Butler and Bobby Babaletsko should each have to take a stop. With just 7 minutes left, it isn't going to be a long time in the pits. It's going to be one of those, 5 seconds of stopped.
And, well, that's interesting. Rachel wants to know why Weston's numbers are yellow, and to me they're green. But
Is that
the rest of the car is yellow.
Yeah, I think they're just the way the white of the number itself inside of that green number plate looks like a yellowish tint. A little bit of dirt there for Weston, trying to push. He's pushing hard to stay in the back of that Mustang of Wedderburn.
Oh. Rachel was asking about on the ticker when we're showing the color, the timing. Yeah. Got it. Not the number on the side of the car.
Yeah, that's just the car we're tracking. On board here, of course, with Leo. Looking back for these two, what are their best finishes of the year? For Weston, I see a couple of his last 2 rounds. In fact, he was on the podium, 3rd place at Imola, 3rd place at the Nürburgring Grand Prix. And for Wedderburn, his best finish this season was a 5th place at Mexico City in round 5. Sorry, that was I think I have that. Yeah, that's right. He was 5th place there. So trying to, both of them now trying to get their first top 2. If they finish like they are, they'll each have their best finish of the season. But only one of them can win it. Meanwhile, Speaker and Schwenke continue to inch closer to Mike Dam. I remember when it was 2.5 seconds. It's now under 2 with 5 minutes to go. Ooh, look at the flying cars come through.
All right, here we go. Bobby Babaletskos now on the pit lane.
Yeah, don't blink. You might miss the pit stop. It's going to be a quick one. He only needs to go about 4 minutes of 3.5 minutes probably. There is McPherson. There's Babaletskos. 1, 2, 3.
And McPherson
4,
now, I think, coming
5,
out of the chicane and onto
6.
the front straight.
Yep, he was stopped. It says 7.9. There is Bobby. He might be ahead of Kevin, and this is good news for Alex Crow.
Yes, it is. And yes, Babaletskos is going to rejoin Larry in 3rd position. Kevin McPherson in 4th.
Yep. I think Jordan Butler is going to have to go again unless Butler somehow managed to do this as a one-stopper. If he is, he's the only one in the class that can do it.
The only one who could do it.
But that would even be further good news for Alex Crow, who needed McPherson further down the order. But this is going to be interesting. McPherson's not out of this yet. He's 2 seconds behind Babaletskos. There's a couple of GT3 cars around that could help or hinder him on this charge to try and catch 2nd place in this race. It's not over yet. There are only 3 minutes left on the clock. Of course, the white flag comes out basically when Stephen Hudak says it comes out as the overall race leader. There he is. Currently ahead of Leo Dragota, who's insignificant tonight. Stephen must know he's on camera. He's got a light flashing. Oh, that's right. There's a car in front of him. One of those Speed Lab Mustangs. It's not Wedderburn. One of the other Speed Lab Mustangs. And another one of the other Speed Lab Mustangs.
Yes.
Oof.
So many. All right, Larry, when he comes onto the front straight here, Stephen Hudak will complete his 42nd lap, and with about 2.25 minutes, a little bit less than that remaining, probably.
Yeah, we should have 2 laps to go.
2 laps, yeah.
Yeah, and that's good news if you're Kevin McPherson, because the more laps, the better chance you have to catch your rivals. But right now, Babaleskos has done a very good job here after taking on that fuel to try and open that up right now. 2.6 seconds between Babaleskos and Kevin McPherson. We will see if Butler, who's already gone by this vantage point, so Butler did not stop for fuel. This is going to be interesting.
That's another about 9 miles left to drive, Larry, here with 2 laps remaining for him, and whether or not he can make it to the very end. Caleb Lehman brings his Delara onto the pit lane. Also checking in that battle for the championship in GTP, Michelle Squarick, she's fallen even farther off the battle for third. She is now almost 4 seconds back from Carlos Barrero in 4th position. Although, you know, we keep looking here as we're looking at the ticker. It looks like Carlos Barrero might be having some connectivity issues, Larry. And here's another change, Larry. We've been watching this for about, 25 laps. Travis Schwenke in his Orion Aston Martin gets around the Rockefeller Mustang of Ilya Speaker. See how he does it. Takes the draft, heads down the Lake Combe, and outbreaks the Mustang driver clearly and cleanly.
Yeah, great pass there. Yeah, I was just quickly double checking that we don't have 2 stops already on the books for Jordan Butler. I don't see 2 stops. I see just one for him on lap 20. So keep an eye.
And Larry, we've got fights for the lead all around as Neil Weston took a quick look to the inside on Wedderburn and had pulled right alongside the Speed Lab Mustang for the moment there, but Wedderburn, with good positioning there, able to get back around.
Yeah, this is going to go right down to the end. Now, who took on enough fuel to go this long into this race? So we are certainly in extra time, as they call it here. At the last lap is going to be an eternity for some of these drivers. We've seen this before, a long lap at a place like Spa. If you missed your fuel calculation, it could hurt. And for Wedderburn and Weston, to be close. Wedderburn got a little bit of gravel there.
Yeah,
Weston's going to get a run.
Over at Stavelo, gets the car righted, but this could be the best last chance now for Neil Weston as he pulls right alongside, pops out to the left.
Wedderburn defending. Really squeezed Weston there. Wedderburn and Weston gets a little bit squirrely. Coming into the chicane, does he make a move? Wedderburn defends. Weston goes outside. Deep. And they're going to
have one more lap. Larry, 4.5 more miles.
Wow.
Or 4.3 more miles is Hudak.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, you guys. Stephen Hudak, your race leader, decided to see the white flag with all of about 10 seconds left on the clock. And so we're essentially maximizing the number of laps here. This is going to be interesting. There's the end of the race for Stephen Hudak. There'll be a checker there.
There you go. Hudak will take the win here in the final round of season 14 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge in GTP. Let's jump back to this battle for the lead. Well, we'll see here actually before we go back to GT3. Alex Crow is going to come onto the front straight. He's going to take the win tonight in LMP2. And Larry, on the very last lap, that was Mustangs went around. Was that?
It was. That was Weston, because that's Chester Guidry right now behind Wedderburn. So let's look at this. You got Weston's teammate Guidry just behind all this. To the inside goes Weston. He gets squeezed by Wedderburn, who then in the sliding taps the back of Weston and then continues to Wedderburn. Luckily, he could have really come out of this much worse. He's lucky to continue. And Weston is now about 20 car lengths back. With a handful of corners to go.
Exactly. And Guidry there is 2 laps down from this battle that he was just following through. Had been our leader early on, but wow, what a burn there. Good recovery. We'll see what the stewards think about it post-race, but he's coming through the final corners now.
Yeah, one more long run down through to Blanchimont into the chicane. Trying to get a win here in GT3 AM as Andre Wedderburn. Meanwhile, coming through the field, that's Caleb Lehman right there.
And Lehman had a very late stop over in GTP.
And by the way, Jordan Butler did a one-stopper to finish
yes, he did.
second in LMP2. He pulled that off.
To finish second. So in LMP2, it's Crow, Butler, and Babaletscos with McPherson. Oh my!
Is Wedderburn out of gas? I bet he is.
That's exactly what it looks like. And Andre Wedderburn is going to cross the line and take the win in GT3 AM with no fuel remaining.
Yeah, that's what it looked like right in front of Chester Guidry. As this is the incident, there's Weston. And it looked like Weston was going to be clear, and then Wedderburn's slide actually comes right back into Weston. Ugh. I'm sure the stewards will look. I don't know there's much you could do. It looked like Smith on contact. Yeah, it certainly didn't look anything deliberate for any kind of contact on Weston. It's just the unfortunate way to go. Weston does get the second place. Wedderburn does get the win. Both of them, their best respective finishes on the season, so good for them. Aaron Sunday
and Rachel Aaron Aaron Sunday finishes in third. And Larry, let's not forget GT3 Pro, where Ethan Bass takes the win, and we think he may have taken his second consecutive GT3 Pro championship. Brian Coxon finishes second, and Mike Dam, making up 8 positions, finishes on the last step of the podium. All right, let's take
impressive donuts.
Very impressive. All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back. We'll interview some of our race winners and maybe some of our champions here from season number 14. You've just seen the season finale of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge live from Spa. Stay with us.
The SCCA Foundation is a 501c3 organization serving as the charitable arm of the Sports Car Club of America. One of the programs partially funded by the foundation is the SCCA Academy, an online learning management system used to keep real-life racing track officials up to date on the highest standards of race safety and officiating. Through this program, the SCCA Foundation is supporting the future of the best trained corner workers and event officials in motorsport. You can support these efforts at www.sccafoundation.org.
Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The search is over. The most comprehensive league scoring solution is here, with the ability for multi-level championships, custom incident tracking, post-race time penalties, support for heats, drop weeks display, multi-car team scoring, advanced web widgets, rookie championships, a custom paint system, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. Hundreds of name brand parts. Expert support. Ricmotech has you covered. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
Welcome back to Spa, where we've just seen round number 8 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge. The season finale. Let's take a look at that finishing order. In GTP, Stephen Hudek taking the win for SRT Esport, with Ben Rose finishing in second. And Carlos Barrero finishing third. Your championship leader coming into the night, Michelle Squarick, finishing in fourth for SRT Esport. Over in LMP2, Alex Crow takes the win for Majors Esport. And big surprise, Larry, there. Jordan Butler, only a single pit stop. Every other LMP2 racer had to take two. Jordan Butler finishes in second. Bobby Babaletskos will finish in third for Majors Esport. And Kevin McPherson finishing just off the podium in fourth for SRT. Over in the GT3 ranks, Ethan Bass from Orbit Drop Bear Motorsports takes his, I think, his second win in a row. And we'll see. We'll be checking those points standings here to see how this championship ended up in pro. Brian Coxon from Orion finishing second, and Mike Dam with the drive of the night finishing third after having made up 8 points. And over in GT3 AM, Andre Wedderburn with, I believe, his very first win here in the World Challenge for Speed Lab Esports in his Ford Mustang. Neil Weston from HTPK will finish in second. Aaron Sunday from OHND will finish in third. And then Adam Cohen from Speed Lab Esports in his Ford Mustang finishing just off the podium in fourth. All right, Larry, let's take a look at who we've got waiting for us here in the green room. I'm going to roll my magic dice, hoping for sevens, and I end up with a 151. We're going to bring in from Speed Lab Esports your winner tonight in GT3 AM, Andre Wedderburn.
All right, joining us here, Andre Wedderburn getting the win in GT3M. And Andre, congratulations. We know this is your first win this season. Is this your first win here in the Monday Night Ricmotech series?
It absolutely is, and I'm ecstatic about it.
Yeah, well earned. What a battle, though, you had right up to the end there with Neil. Leave a little bit of contact in the last lap. It looked like a just great side-by-side racing. Have you had a chance to talk a little bit with Neil there at the end about how that all went?
I haven't yet. I plan to do it, after this. But yeah, like you said, I just close, side-to-side racing, and came down to the last lap. And unfortunately, we had a little contact, but we both kept going straight. So I think in the end, it turned out okay.
Yeah, just incredible stuff. They've been fighting all season, but in this race, really pushing hard. Is this? It's got to mean quite a bit to you here, getting the victory here. Everybody loves Spa. Everybody loves their season finale. This is kind of the last chance to do it here. What's this one mean to you to finally get your first victory tonight?
Man, it means a lot. It's been a struggle. I've seen a lot of my teammates winning championships. Very happy for them, but to finally get my first win, it really means a lot. Put a lot of work into this track. Contrary to what you say, I actually don't like Spa. But I've learned to appreciate a little bit, just and put the time into it to be as proficient in it as I can be.
Yeah, I think you'll like Spa more. Keep driving it. I love it. Anyway, that's my opinion. Not everybody has to agree with me, although you should. But getting this win tonight was just an amazing race to watch. It was so much fun. 90 minutes of this, and unbelievable. It comes right down to the last lap between you and your rival there. Just some brilliant stuff. But I know you've got a big team here. Sure, the win means a lot to you, but I'm sure you got some other folks that helped you get the win here tonight. Probably want to mention them.
Sure, yeah, definitely. As always, my wife, my family. I always shout out my dad and my mom who got me into racing, real life racing and sim racing. Speed Lab, Filippo, putting together a great team here, and really, working with us on the skills and then the mental side. For all those people listening, that his the work he does with us really helps, and you guys should all check it out. So and then again, the league, all you guys putting this on gives us a place to go have fun for a little bit every Monday.
Yeah, well, it's awesome to watch, and huge team there, very successful, and tonight no different. Getting the win here for Speed Lab Esports and GT3 AM. First win in the series goes to Andre Wedderburn. Congrats.
Thank you, guys.
All right, congratulations, Andre. Larry, let's stay over with GT3 AM for a moment. And I want to bring in our newly crowned Season 14 champion, driving for HTPK Racing and getting the championship, Larry, by a single solitary point. It is Chester Guidry.
All right, Chester Guidry, congrats. We've done the math and the points are updated, and you are the champion here in GT3AM. Tonight probably didn't go like you wanted to, but you get to celebrate a championship. How you feeling?
Yeah, thanks, guys. I saw the points list. It looks like I only squeaked by 1 point. So not sure if that's accurate or not, but that's what I'm seeing. And
it is for now.
I'll take it. I'll take it. And, I kind of hate to win this way. I was disappointed to see Chase not in the race this evening. I really wanted to battle it out with him, but I'll take it. So yeah. I'm happy.
Yeah, it is a long season. You got to put the effort in. You got to be there, every other week, every other Monday night. You got to put your time in, and there is a lot of that goes into winning a championship, and no exception here. But yeah, you even had a great run going into tonight's race. You were kind of looking pretty well dominant there into that race. We saw that one corner, that kink there at Blushmount, catch a lot of drivers out. Was that just one of those cases, a little bit too much curb, and the car went for its own ride?
Yeah, the BMW setup that we had was very free, especially on the first 2 or 3 laps coming out of the pits on cold tires. I knew that going in. I was trying to be extra careful, and just one slip was all it took, and it was all downhill from there. But we pitted, we took the damage repairs, came back out on track. And then it was a teammate points battle at that point. Neil Weston needed to win the race tonight to secure a podium championship position. So I was trying my best to catch back up to those guys, to try to mix up with the leader and with Neil and see how things would play out. But just ran out of time there at the end.
Yeah, not quite there, but what a battle it was. Just watching he and Andre have that great battle all the way through the second half of that race was just brilliant stuff. So he drove very, very well. Obviously, only one driver could win this thing, and tonight that was Andre. But the next one coming soon, I'm sure, is going to be for Neil. But tonight the championship belongs to you. And for HTPK, is this the first championship in our series for a driver from your team?
I believe so, guys.
Yeah, well, congrats on that. That is an amazing achievement there. It's very difficult to win championships around here. You see how that goes week in and week out to try and do that as consistently and at the highest level that you need to perform. But I know you've probably got some folks who want to give a thanks to for helping to win this championship.
Yeah, certainly want to thank my family and friends that watch the show. My father watches each week, and we have a debrief phone call afterward. So it's been really nice to spend some time with him talking about the races, and especially my wife for putting up with me doing this every other week. And then, of course, my teammates with HTPK Racing and the broadcasters, to you, Larry and Greg, and Apex Racing TV.
Yeah, well, appreciate that. It's a lot of fun to get to call races like this. You definitely put on a pretty good show here, and tonight's no exception. Getting the win, getting the championship here. After 8 rounds, the championship going to HTPK's own Chester Guidry. Congrats.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
All right, let's hear it for the Fleur-de-Lis. All right, Larry, let's move over now to GTP. We're taking the win tonight for SRT Esport, and I'll have to take a look at this, but I think
he did.
Eking out the championship as well over his teammate. Your winner tonight, driving the number 44 Porsche 963, it's Stephen Hudak.
All right, Stephen, it has been a trying season, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Tonight, it just looked like perfection. You knew you had to win to have a chance to fend off your teammate for the championship. You get it done. You've got the championship, and you get the round 8 win all in one. Congrats, and how you feeling?
Oh, thank you very much, Larry. Oh, I am just so relieved. I had, like I said, a very trying season, being so quick in practice and 1 lap pace in qualifying, and then just having the most rotten luck during the race, being taken out twice in Hockenheim, and then having a technical glitch that caused me to lose all audio at Sebring and from about halfway through the race even, and then just plain old errors like in Mexico, like Hockenheim in Mexico. I should have had wins like today, but I'm so happy that I'm finally here with you guys on the victory lane, and I I just couldn't even be happier. I'm kind of lost for words. I'm still
Yeah.
coming to grips with it.
As that race went on tonight, 90 minutes is a long time to hold a lead, especially given, as you talked about, some of your instances that have struck you over the season. Were any of those creeping back in, thinking, okay, what's around the next corner for me? Am I going to actually be able to finish this thing, or is tragedy coming?
Every time my crew chief said yellow in the next corner up ahead, it's one of those things where it's like, oh my Lord, where is it? Can I avoid it?
But it wasn't there tonight. It was a lot of clear track for you. Well executed. Just a beautiful pace tonight. Dominant in the way that we knew that you could. And but eking out a championship over a teammate who gave you a heck of a run. She had some great wins this season. We were trying to see if she can get back up into that top 2 tonight. But tell me a little bit about that team and what it means to SRT to win a championship here.
Yeah, shout out to Michelle. She was tremendous all season long. She, not the cleanest season as well. She had some rotten luck, especially in the last round. I think without that, she probably would have won the championship. But SRT is such a great group of guys. I joined SRT on the back of the IndyCar Championship during the summer, along with Lewis, and the guys have just been so accommodating and so wonderful. I can't thank the team enough. Josh, Michelle, Jake, Caleb, Kevin, Lewis, Josh, and I have to give an absolute special shout out to John Pat. John Pat is the GOAT. Without John, we wouldn't have won the team's championship either. I can't thank every one of those guys, especially John, Michelle for pushing me, and all the the rest of the prototype guys for doing everything that they do, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, incredible stuff. It's a great group there. To be able to represent them probably means it really seems to mean a lot to you. But awesome way to get the win here and to get the championship locked in for you and for the team. Is there anybody else you want to give a mention to here while you got the chance?
I have to thank my wife for supporting me through this severely up and down season. And I got to thank my dad. He's watching right now. Watched every race. Can't thank him enough for all the love and support. And you guys as well, Larry, Greg, John, you guys put on a fantastic show. And I can't thank XMS for putting on such a great series. It's been phenomenal. I'll be right back at it next year with a large cohort of teammates. So don't it's just everyone's so amazing.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Another great season and a whole bunch of SRT esports to talk about. It'll be a lot of fun. But tonight you get to go and celebrate. Maybe pop a little bit of champagne or something. The victory and the championship are yours from SRT Esports, your champion, Stephen Hudak. Congrats.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Larry, let's move over now to, now I've got choices. Let's move over to our winner tonight in LMP2, driving for Majors Esport and also taking the championship by 2 points. It is Alex Crow.
All right, Alex Crow joining us, waiting here if there was cheering and celebration in the background there as Alex, as Greg just mentioned, wins the championship by winning the last race here for Majors Esport. And Alex, what an incredible victory here. So intense, lots of help from teammates, but tell me a little bit about that drive and what you were thinking as you were 90 minutes of this to try to endure to overcome and win the championship.
Yeah, I knew I needed a really good race going in. I knew I had to win the race, and something else had to happen. Had to get the bonus points for fastest lap and pole. Got both of those. Kept it a super clean race through the whole thing, no incident points. And then the pace was just there. First stint, saved a bit of fuel to make the extra lap. Got a little bit worried when I realized Jordan was going for a one stop, which was really impressive on its own. Congrats to Jordan for that. But after I came out of the pits for the last time, I think I was about a second and a half in front of Jordan and just took off from there. Chased down Bobby, and Kevin was only a few seconds ahead of me by the time he had to pit. So once that happened, it was just smooth sailing and staying out of trouble.
Yeah, just an unbelievable effort there, and the strategy going in to get some help from the teammate, and as you mentioned, Jordan Butler doing what he does was just
That was
so
incredible.
impressive. Yeah, no, we kept waiting. Is this the lap? Is this the lap? He's got to stop, right? He can't have enough fuel. Somehow he makes that work. Unbelievable run. But for you tonight, not only do you get the victory here, we've done the math, and by measly, I think it was 2 points, you are going to be the champion here, season 14 in LMP2. Congrats. What does that mean to you to clinch the championship here tonight?
Yeah, it was awesome. I really did not expect it midway through the season. I mean, iRacing was having issues with people's frames dropping. I lost races, didn't finish races because of it. I was down to 12 frames a couple of races. I think I jumped in halfway through Sebring into the booth with you guys.
That's right.
But yeah, that once that was resolved, it was kind of just smooth sailing, just push hard, get as many points as I could. Thankfully, I think a few of the other drivers, especially between Kevin and Caleb, they kind of split the wins between a couple of the races.
Yeah.
Left just enough window for me to sneak in for the victory.
Yeah, well, the strategy pays off. The effort pays off. It's a long season to be able to come through and get enough points, just barely, but enough is enough to win the championship here in LMP2. It's awesome stuff. But I know you've got lots of friends and family and teammates and others you probably want to give a mention to here, having won the championship. Maybe give them thanks.
Yeah, shout out to obviously Bobby being in my ear the whole race. David joined about halfway through just to keep our spirits up. Thanks to Ty and RJ. I know you guys were watching, and maybe you're still watching. I'm not sure. And thanks to everyone at Majors Barrage. Always Mike Willette putting on great stuff for our team right now. Fed, Mikael, and Fabri being awesome crew chiefs, really pushing us, everyone on the team to do our best through there. Yeah, we'll see what it brings on comes next.
All right, well, it was an incredible night tonight for you. Getting the win, getting the championship clinched right here. LMP2, your champion for the season, Alex Crow from Majors Esports. Congrats.
And Larry, should just to point out how close things were in LMP2. Crow with 2 wins. Kevin McPherson with 2 wins, Caleb Lehman with 2 wins, and then also I believe Justin Barrera with 2 wins for Metamorphosis as well. Just such close, tight racing all season long. Really, really wonderful to watch. All right, let's move over. And Larry, I wanted to leave him for last because it's the earliest in the morning for him. Coming to us all the way from the UK, where it is now about 3, 4 in the morning, something like that. Let's bring in our season 13 and season 14 GT3 Pro champion, Ethan Bass.
Well, we didn't know if there was a chance for a change at the top of the standings in GT3 Pro coming into the night, but apparently there was enough room to do that. Ethan Bass has come from behind to clinch a 2nd straight championship in what I would say is one of the hardest and deepest classes I've ever had to call for a season. Ethan, congrats. You get the win here tonight, but maybe more importantly, you get the championship here in GT3 Pro. How you feeling at all of 3:30 in the morning?
I was incredibly stressed on the opening laps, and then we had, I guess what you could call it in the iRacing terms, an engine failure in qualifying. I only got 2 laps in, so we had to come back, reset everything, and then get back on the grid. That didn't make me comfortable with the opening laps, but thankfully nothing else happened, and we just kept our head down, and we lost a spot on the start, but again, just kept our head down. We had a car that was safe. It was pushable when needed to, and we saved the extra lap on fuel and got to the front and then never looked back.
Yeah, I mean, for a while there, you guys were trying to chase Lucas Dragota. Lucas then had his issues. You had a great battle going with Brian Cox, and he wasn't able to hold on to that as well. And as you said, put your head down and start cranking laps, pace a car that was solid. 90 minutes is a long time to endure to learn if you're going to win a championship. What goes through your mind is you're watching Leo Dragota have an issue, Lucas have an issue. You're in this battle there with Brian, knowing you probably have to win this race to win this championship. Are you just trying to peek around the other corner, say, is it really going to be me at the end of this thing? And what else do I have to do?
I'm a chronic overthinker, so I just actually had to just throw that out the window, out of my mind, and just focus on what was in front of me. I just needed to take the laps up as I did. I fed in behind Lucas off of turn 1. He had a good start. Didn't want to do overuse the radio on side by side on cold tires, so just back up, play the numbers game, and wait it out. And then we've got 90 minutes. Like I said, it's a long time, but this is actually I've got a lot of history doing really long races like this. So to me, this is actually a bit of a mini sprint, but still a good bit of fun. I like races where you've got actually a long time to build, and you don't have to go gung ho immediately and bomb at every lap, every corner, because you've only got so many minutes. This is a really good format for GT3 75 or 90-minute races, or where these cars excel.
Are you able to keep fresh and like not get physically tired? Because it is you're in the UK, I believe, and so it's 2-3 o'clock in the morning. How do you stay awake? How do you prepare to be able to do this at the highest level all the way until the end of the 90-minute race?
I mean, I'm lucky I was not at work today, but I normally do night shift stuff, so I end up and I finish my work at 10 p.m. and I've actually done a lot of American leagues in the past, so it's not something it's not too difficult for me, and it also means it's quiet hours at my home, so I don't get disturbed. So this is actually really good for me. The Euro leagues, yeah, I'm European, Scottish, but if anything, I'm at work and all the Euro leagues are on, so Ricmotech's actually really good. I was watching it a couple of seasons prior to even joining, and I was like, and then the Mustang came out, and I meant, this is my chance.
Yeah, incredible. You're right. You've got the secret, and it's working, having the optimum conditions, be able to do what you do. However you do it, it's amazing. Winning back-to-back in this series is extremely difficult. It's rare. I'm sure I can go through the history and see exactly how rare it is. For now, all I know is the last two are the same name, and it's yours, Ethan Bass, winning them both. But I know you've got Big Team and some others you probably want to give a shout-out to for helping you along your way.
Oh yeah, there was several of the Orbit Drop Bear boys watching. As the season went on, more and more were watching, which is brilliant. I had a couple of people spotting and looking out. Like when Leo unfortunately had his off, I was like, talk to the guys. I was like, you need to tell me what happens with him. I don't know I just saw him off, and I don't know what happened. So, and because if something did happen to him, it made the equation a lot easier, but it was still a case of like, if I win this race, then it doesn't matter if he gets repaired, it doesn't matter if he inherits more positions or not. So head down and get going, and then I'll catch up with him later and see what happens. And it's a shame, because in an ideal world, me and him last race into the last lap kind of thing, it was a case of whoever won this race was going to win it, or it was going to be come down to count back, I think, because it might have actually been identical points with all the lead lap points and some of the bonus things for being clean and getting on pole and all these things. I think had it gone down to a tiebreaker, I think I would have just got it on the case of 3 wins rather than Leo's 2, which is as close as you can get in a series like this. It didn't come down to that, which is a shame, because I really wanted Leo to finish on the lead lap and have another really good battle with him, but thankfully I had a lot of fun. Brian was really quick tonight.
Yeah, incredible stuff right down to the end, last race of the season. You get the win, you get the championship, backing up what you did a season ago. Unbelievable stuff. So congrats on all of that. Orbit Drop Bear Motorsports, they coming through. Big team there helping you win a championship here in season 14. So congrats, Ethan Bass. You can get some rest, or you can stay up and hang out all night if you want. Either way you want to do it, you can celebrate.
It's drinks and ice cream. It's drinks and ice cream time.
That's a good combo. I like that.
Yep.
All right, congrats.
Thanks very much, lads. I'll be back next year.
Thanks,
Looking
Ethan.
forward
Can't
to
wait
it.
for it.
Happy New Year, everybody.
All right. Happy New Year to you too. Congrats.
All right, everybody. That was Ethan Bass from Orbit Drop Bear Motorsports, your season 14 champion. And Larry, when he said, at least it's quiet around the house, all I could think of was Elvis Rankin, and of course his mother not knowing if
Same
he was
zone.
up. Yeah, exact same thing, except maybe maybe a wife or somebody else there. Anyway. All right, and to look at that in GT3 Pro, 11 points the difference. But Larry, the battle for third, we said there was only, I think, 2 points separating Mike Dam and Brian Coxon coming into the evening. Pardon me, 3 points separating Dam and Coxon coming into the evening. They end up tied at 391 points. I'll either let somebody at XMS or maybe at Orion figure out how to divvy that one up.
Yeah, unbelievable. That is, the pro class here is so deep, so much talent. I'm really in awe that anybody can win races, let alone win 2 championships back to back. It's I've looked back. Mike Dam did it a couple years back. I think the class is much deeper now, and so what Ethan Bass just did says a lot about his talents and what he brings each week.
Yeah, indeed. And Larry, with Travis Schwenke getting around Ilya Speaker there at the very end of the race, that was the deciding factor for 5th in the championship, as as Schwenke beats Speaker out by 2 points.
Wow, so close.
There. Yeah, exactly. So close, and comes down to the very last lap. All right, so that is going to wrap things up for our interviews here tonight, and pretty much put a bow on season number 14 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge. Before we wrap up our broadcast, though, let's take a look at what we've got coming up in the next couple of weeks. Larry and I are going to take a couple, and Jonathan too, going to take a couple of weeks off for the holidays, but we are going to, at least 2 of us will be back on Monday night, January 12th. It is the season opener of season number 10 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Mini Mite Sports Car Challenge for our LMP3 and GT4 racers. If you go to xmsracing.com, you can find out more information about that, and maybe you can join us on the grid. And then the following week, Monday night, January 19th, we're going to kick off season number 15 of the World Challenge. And for those of you that have been waiting around for this, the Touring Car Cup is going to return mid-March with its 30-minute races. So for Larry Lefty McLeod, for Jonathan Grabowski, I'm Greg Ginsburg. Thank you so much for joining us for season number 14 of the World Challenge. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and of course a Happy Hanukkah for all those who celebrate. And we will see you in just a few weeks. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, ricmotech.com.